listen to this.
Greetings to all. Today, we are here to nourish the mind with wisdom, to awaken and illuminate this formless, empty, clear, and pure life element within us. May we learn to discern. May we loosen our grip on what is not truly ours. May we come to realize the profound truth that we have never actually been born into this world. We are the elemental source, the origin before all things. We are the unmoving, unarriving, and undeparting essence. We have never been born, and we have never perished. This is the deathless element, what one may call the zero element. In this place, there is no time. In this place, there is no distance. It is totality itself. This original element is utterly pure, without form of any kind. Here, there are no thoughts, no voices, no mental imagery, no colors or lights of any sort. It is simply clear, forever so. In this realm, there is no happiness, no suffering, no neutrality, no mental states at all. There is not even perception. And because there is no perception, it remains untouched, pure, and uninvolved with anything. This is what we truly are. We are the elemental source. Yet we do not know this. This not knowing is itself a natural state. It is simply an element that has not yet learned. And because it has not learned, it remains in ignorance. What the mind, what our life element, longs to learn is the truth that nothing ever truly becomes anything at all. This is the wisdom we seek. So long as we do not yet possess this realization, we must continue to take refuge in various vessels. And in doing so, we become attached to them. We make use of tools, sounds, images, feelings, perceptions, memories, recognitions, and through these, we attempt to understand what we truly are. We dwell within these small and great containers, hoping to discover that all things are, in fact, nothing at all. This is the original element. Can we truly understand this? I have come to proclaim this truth for all beings, for all of us to know together. Let us turn against the current and awaken within. See the truth for ourselves. This is not a belief system. I am not here to teach faith. In fact, it is not even a teaching. It is simply a gentle pointing, an invitation to return home, to dissolve back into the original essence, whole and undivided, just as we once were. Right now, we have projected ourselves outward, sending out currents to inhabit various tools, and in doing so, we have forgotten our original home, forgotten the elemental source from which we came. We've become lost in thinking we are this vessel, this form. Now we say, I am a sea creature, I am a land creature, I live underground, I have wings, I live in the air, I dwell in space, I am a human. But what are we really, mind? What exactly are you becoming? The mind is lost in its own manifestations. Are you aware of this? If I were to speak to us now, I would say, O mind, have you become deluded into thinking you're a beast, a human, a man, a woman, someone with a name and a family name? Mind, it's time to awaken. What are you lost in? Are you clinging to this vessel and calling it you? This mind of ours, this consciousness, is none other than what we truly are. Whether we call it mind, life element, or formless essence, it is the same. We are that, clear, pure, and transparent. We have only borrowed tools, borrowed expressions, and projected our stream of energy into forms. We cling to these vessels and shape them into sound, just like the one speaking through this mouth right now. This voice is simply a current transformed into sound, and we attach to it. We rely on this voice, on this projected energy, on this imagery, on this stream of emotion and perception. Yet none of these are who we truly are. The truth is, We have never actually existed as a self on this earth. There are only functions, occurring endlessly from the moment we wake until the moment we sleep. We have been using these tools all along, these senses, these expressions, not to become something, but to realize that all phenomena are truly nothing at all. Even the tools themselves, even the appearances, they too are nothing. There is no self. There is no us. There is no one here. Nothing is here. It has always been this way. Even now, as these words are spoken, it is merely the life element, formless, empty, clear, and pure, functioning as it always does. What we've constantly relied on is this voice, and we've believed that this voice has a self. But look closely. Begin to awaken within. You will see. The voice speaking in your mind is merely a current of sound. It is a manifestation of mind, an expression of what we are. An analogy can be made with fire and its manifestations. A bonfire radiates heat. That is the expression of fire. It shines light. That too is a characteristic of fire. Do you see? In the same way, the mind, or the life element, which is the original source, also has manifestations. One of its expressions is this very voice. It could be called a stream of sound. It surges forth as energy vibrates into speech. It flows as energy into mental imagery. Try imagining an elephant. You can see it, can't you? Picture a large elephant with two big tusks and a baby walking beside it. Can you see it clearly? Where do these images arise from? They emerge from the mind, from the life element that is empty, clear, and pure. They arise from absolute nothingness. Even this universe itself arose from that which had no form at all. Now imagine erasing the entire universe. Erase the darkness, the light, the stars, the sun, the black holes, and every speck of dust, until nothing remains. What will you find? Only a pure, luminous emptiness. In this emptiness, there is truly nothing, no characteristics, no phenomena. It is utterly silent, clear, and pristine. This is the original element. From this emptiness, the first star was born through the eruption of the original element at a single point in that silent void. Energy burst forth, began to spiral and collide, forming minute particles. These particles broke apart, clumped together, and became dust, then gathered again into blazing stars. Some cooled slowly, becoming planets. Others never cooled and continued to burn, becoming suns. This is how energy and material elements began, the first celestial body emerging from pure origin, and from that it multiplied, dividing, expanding, becoming solar systems, galaxies, and the entire cosmos. Yet all of this, every system, every explosion, every merging, arose from that same clear and empty essence. Everything that emerges becomes unstable, shifting, colliding, and dissolving, only to reassemble and form anew. Throughout it all, as stars crash and explode with a force far greater than millions of nuclear bombs, it all happens within that same pristine void. Out of the scattering dust, matter regathers, recombines, and draws itself into new formations, new stars, new suns, arising once again. Do we truly realize that all these phenomena, this arising and dissolving of things, happen within a clear and empty space? This luminous emptiness does not become anything at all. That is its nature. It allows all things to exist within it, yet it remains untouched by anything. It is like throwing a nuclear bomb into space before us, or dropping one onto this very house. The house explodes in a violent blast, and our body is reduced to dust. Everything within a radius of several kilometers is completely annihilated, melted away without a trace. And yet, do you know what remains untouched? It is this pure, clear emptiness, this element of formless space that lies right before us. Even our own mind, The life element that is empty, luminous, and pure is not affected in the slightest. The body may dissolve into particles, but the formless life element remains entirely unscathed. This life element has no idea that it is now in human form, and it won't know when this human form dies. The life element simply moves on, floating toward a new vessel, perhaps a water-dwelling creature, a land animal, an underground being, a creature with wings, one that lives in the air, or even in outer space, depending on the conditions and causes that draw it in. The chance of inhabiting a human form is exceedingly rare. Consider how many types of beings exist, and how many of each kind, countless, beyond measure. It is infinite. In contrast, humans are but a tiny fraction. Currently, there are around 8 billion human vessels on Earth, but the number of minds dwelling in the forms of aquatic animals is infinite. The number of land animals, underground creatures, winged beings, it's all infinite. So many that the human realm is insignificant by comparison. The chance of being born as a human is less than is the most supreme among them all. We have been in other forms before, every form in fact. Let us not forget that this body lasts only a short while the life element, the pure mind, continues its journey, seeking a new vessel. This we commonly call birth, don't we? It is the birth of the vessel, a form animated with life. But in the original element, the clear and pure life source, there is no birth. It simply is. It is the formless essence that existed before all things and will never be destroyed. All material elements arise and then dissolve. All energy arises and then dissolves. But the original element, the pure, clear, empty essence, has never been involved with any of it. It is the source. We study this science of awakening, this knowledge of the original mind, for one single purpose: to be free from suffering, completely and permanently. And when this is realized, there will be no return to rebirth. This is the one true knowledge, the one essential understanding that has always been present, right before our eyes and hearts. It does not require seeking through any special method. We simply awaken inwardly and see it directly, as it truly is. Whether we are children as young as 3 or 4, or the elderly, the disabled, women or men, regardless of age, status, tradition, religion, nationality, or race, even pregnant women with children in the womb. If the mother listens, the child will also sense it. This is a transmission from mind to mind. It is already within all of us, but we do not realize that we are the formless, clear, pure life element. I realized this pure element long ago by turning inward and awakening. I saw the voice speaking in my mind. I saw the voice speaking from my mouth. The voice that speaks when we talk, whether silently inside or aloud. We might call this thought. We rely on thought all the time. But the day I truly saw my own thoughts for the first time, it changed everything. Was it really we who named the lime tree? That voice says lime tree, but the tree itself does not speak. We assume that's what it should be called. We assigned meaning, identity, and language to it. This body, this physical vessel, never had a name, but our parents gave it to us, and we believed it. We believed we truly are that name and surname. Before this life, we were born as fish, as creatures underground, on land, in the air. Back then, we had no name, and now we dwell in a human form, and suddenly, we think we have a real name. We believe today is Sunday, but look around. Where is Sunday? Look up at the sky, to the left, to the right. Where does it say Sunday? Pick up a handful of earth. Where is Sunday in that? Touch your own leg. Where is Sunday there? Bathe yourself. What part is Sunday? Look across the entire sky, the entire world. There is no Sunday to be found. There are only things appearing for the mind to know. Everything is merely a display, a kind of image, an image that the mind perceives. Can you see that it knows all this by itself? It recognizes things on its own. If you can see this clearly, you may find your eyes filled with tears. If we can see that it knows on its own, sees on its own, smells on its own, hears on its own, then we begin to see that all of this functions by itself. It knows on its own, it thinks on its own. And when this is clearly seen, a realization arises. We have never truly been born into this world at all. There has never been a real self. We may be moved to tears. What we thought, having parents, having a body, having a home, a car, love, attachment, family, was never truly ours. These were part of a constructed world, a fabricated illusion we created in order to function in this three-dimensional realm. We use the body to live, the voice to communicate, mental images to express, emotions to convey, sensory functions to interact. All tools we rely on to engage with this illusion. But to what end? Let us ask the real question. How did we come to dwell in this vessel? We don't know. What do we truly seek in this life? We don't know. When this body dies, where will we go? Again, we don't know. When we finally see this clearly, we realize everything we've been using is merely temporary. To dwell in this body means that we ourselves are formless. The body cannot last long. When it dissolves, the life element will float onward to find a new form, begin again, and die again, perhaps as a creature in the water, on land, with wings, underground, in the air, or again as a human. But statistically, the highest probability is to be born into forms other than human. Some species produce thousands of offspring, each body a vessel for a mind to inhabit. This is the key. I always say, when this body breaks apart, why does the mind, the life element, go in search of a new vessel? Why must it start again? Because the life element longs for one thing only, knowledge of a single kind. As long as this realization has not dawned in the mind, we will continue to inhabit these forms, continuing to be lost in pleasure and pain, even though these too are only expressions arising from us. So let us ask deeply, why do we rely on the body, on the voice, on these mental images, on these emotions? Why do we desire only joy and reject sorrow? Why are we dependent on these forms and tools? The simplest answer is this: we do not know. But to go deeper, the reason we dwell in these forms is so that we may learn. It's like wishing to reach a mystical island. We need to build a boat, and that boat must be used to cross. We must construct the tools to survive. But do we fuss over the boat itself? Number. We seek the island. That's the point. We are not here to cling to the boat. We never truly wanted the boat. Can you see this now? We come to dwell in this bodily vessel, to use this voice, these mental images, emotions, and the faculty of knowing. We rely on these tools. Why? Because we ourselves have no form. This is the essential understanding. The body is a vessel that has form. If we inhabit it, that means we are formless. We are certainly alive, but without shape. The fact that we use sound shows us that we are the original element without sound. I use this voice to communicate with you, but truly, it is just a borrowed tool. This voice is not mine. In fact, it doesn't belong to anyone. It is simply a process, a natural function. All we need to understand is this: we've come here to develop understanding of the mind, of the life element. As long as we remain asleep and unaware of the mind and the life element, we will continue to depart one vessel and drift toward another. beginning the learning all over again. This cycle never ends. Each new birth brings struggle. We chase happiness and suffer for it. We become entangled with what is not truly us, simply because we don't know. But I have said clearly, we are the mind, the life element, formless, empty, clear, and pure. If that is so, then this voice cannot possibly be ours. The mental images are not ours. The emotions, joy, sorrow, indifference, satisfaction, dissatisfaction, none of these are us. Even this very act of hearing my voice right now, can you see that it knows on its own? This knowing happens naturally. There's no need to train it. Have you ever noticed that it simply knows? That's all. And the moment you see that it hears by itself, a profound realization arises. There is no self here, and tears may begin to fall. A lightness appears, as if a bird has escaped its cage and can fly anywhere. We have never had a form, but we've come to believe that this form is ours. We've relied on thoughts, feelings, and perception. When we think or imagine, and things go the way we expect, joy arises. When they don't, suffering follows. All of these are just tools we've used for so long, we've become used to them, so much so that we've forgotten we are merely borrowing them. And now, we're stuck in this one small story. The study of this science of the awakened mind, this 𝙤𝙤-𝙦𝙬𝙤, is something I firmly declare. Every single person on this planet must come to learn it. The recorded teachings I've made should be shared far and wide so that everyone can listen. Whoever hears these recordings listens daily until my voice begins to echo within their own consciousness. They will gradually begin to feel lighter and freer. Whoever comes to realize fully and deeply in their heart that they are the clear, pure element, suffering will dissolve. There will be nothing left to call me. Many people have awakened in just one day, many others within 7 days, shedding tears as the realization dawns. It happens on its own. Some take a month, some several months. It depends. Whoever grasps the principle first, awakens first. Whoever doesn't catch it, continues to drift in confusion. As I've said, we rely on this voice, but we don't recognize the voice that speaks within. That constant commentary in the mind. Have we ever truly seen it? Let the awareness turn inward and observe the ripple of energy, the surge that arises as thought or emotion. These expressions have no form, no substance. They are not a self. For example, you might be sweeping the floor, and suddenly a thought arises. What should I eat for lunch today? This kind of thought simply arises by nature. Can you observe the mind thinking naturally like that? It thinks on its own. Pizza or a burger, or maybe both. That's how it functions. As we think, plan, feel, we are using these natural expressions to learn about all things. We are like voyagers building a boat to reach a miraculous island. But once we arrive at the island, the boat no longer has meaning. The body we use now, the form we dwell in, is a vessel we inhabit only so that we no longer have to depend on it. We use the voice because we have no voice. We use images, emotions, perception, because we are not any of those. We are the formless, silent, imageless, emotionless, sensationless essence. We are the life element, formless, empty, radiant, and pure. If we simply understand this, truly understand, then just by listening more and more to these recordings, we begin to feel lighter. The more we listen, the clearer it becomes. The clearer it becomes, the lighter and freer we feel. And one day, this lightness will deepen into something extraordinary, an effortless, unfamiliar peace. And then one day, unexpectedly, a scent arises and strikes the senses. It is perceived, all on its own. And the moment you see that the scent is known by itself, Without anyone doing the knowing, something within will snap. There will be a profound inner rupture, a direct seeing that what is being known is simply being known. There is no me behind it. In that moment, everything you once believed to be knowledge explodes into dust. There is no self, no one, no thing. Only the vast, pure, luminous emptiness of the life element remains. That's it. This science of the awakened mind, of realizing the life element, has never truly been taught with such clarity before. Now imagine, if every person on earth came to recognize this formless consciousness, this mind with no shape, what kind of world would we live in? We would live together in peace and harmony. Why? Because there would be no more boasting, no more ego, no more pride in knowledge or ability. Can you see that? There would be nothing left to boast about, because nothing is truly ours. One would see fully, deep in the heart, that this body is not my body. This form exists only because we mentally assigned meaning to limbs, to arms, to legs, to the torso. We gave them identity. And this voice within, the one that constantly narrates, is not ours either. It's just a natural commentary, endlessly describing, judging, labeling. But when we see the truth directly, see that everything in front of us is just something appearing to be known, our perspective shifts entirely. If we observe deeply within, we'll realize, this voice I'm speaking, where exactly is it? Where is the one who hears it? Look within. In that inner awareness, can you find the self? All you will find is nature, thinking by itself, knowing by itself, imagining on its own. This realization of the truth of the mind and the life element frees us completely. Suffering vanishes. This is what it means to be permanently free from suffering and to be beyond rebirth. That is why this teaching is the one teaching truly worth learning. If everyone were to realize it clearly, no one would suffer again. We suffer only because we do not understand our true nature, or the true nature of all things. This is the one and only reason why we come to dwell in this physical vessel, so that we may learn this truth. We inhabit this body using tools like thought, imagination, emotion, and perception, for the sole purpose of realizing that this body came into being because we thought it into being. We thought, and then assigned value and meaning to it. We said, this is an arm, this is a leg, this is my left hand, my right hand. This voice tells us so. But if we simply look at the arms, the legs, the hands, just observe without labeling, we will see that these things have no true self, no real form. They are not inherently anything. And if they have no form, no self, why do we cling to them? The moment we see this truth, an immediate realization may arise. Tears may fall, and we will be released from our dependency on the things we have borrowed. I am pointing this out so that you can begin to awaken inwardly, so you can start to recognize that everything you have clung to as mine actually belongs to the world. The house belongs to the world. The car belongs to the world. Money belongs to the world. This body belongs to the world. The voice, the mental imagery, the emotions, the act of perceiving, these are just tools for assigning value and meaning to what we experience. They help us say, this fan is good, or this fan is broken. We use sound, language, and perception to evaluate the condition of everything around us. All of these tools are here for one purpose, to help us learn. But in the end, the truth is this: all things simply are. None of them is truly us. None of them belong to us. As you listen to this more and more, understanding will begin to arise. 1%, 2%, 3%, little by little. Listen until my voice resounds within your mind. Then something wondrous will begin to unfold. you will gradually realize that the thoughts which arise constantly are the ones assigning meaning to everything. They tell us that we are human, that we are male or female, that we are a certain age. They tell us we have parents, siblings, children, acquaintances. But we've never truly known that all of these things, without exception, are merely expressions of the mind, of the life element within us. They are like the heat radiating from a fire, like the light emanating from its flames. The reason we study this science of the awakened mind is so we may come to know the truth. We are not this body. This understanding, the realization that everything we see in this world, including our own body, is not truly what we think it is, begins to arise clearly. When we look at what we call the body, when we sweep our gaze from left to right, or from right to left, there is just a silent knowing happening. There are no words within that knowing. It simply knows, on its own. Can you observe this? When you can, a more refined knowing will begin to arise. The first insight is this: everything you see, yes, even this body, has no name. If we say that an object is a fan, that means we are relying on the voice to assign that label. But if we ask the object itself, does it speak? Number. It is silent. We rely on this voice to give meaning and value to things. It is this voice that says, this is a body, this is an arm, a leg, a thumb, an index finger, a middle finger, and so on. The body says nothing, but the voice speaks. Whoever sees and deeply understands this, tears may fall, a realization will emerge. If that's the case, then even mother and father are just labels spoken by this voice. It reflects back like that. It reflects inward until we question, is that really our house? Our car? Is it all just something this voice says? Then who, really, are we? For so long, we have depended on this voice to define everything, and then suddenly, we are told to awaken. When we awaken inwardly and observe the voice speaking, saying, this is a phone, this is a fan, this is a house, we begin to see that it is this voice assigning all meaning. And this kind of knowledge, it loosens the grip. It begins to release the mind from the body, from material things, and from the entire world. When the mind or life element realizes this, it detaches completely from the body, from all worldly elements. Tears burst forth. It becomes clear that everything we have ever learned, from the past until now, has been thought-based. We invented it all through thought. At this stage, we are still using the voice to assign meaning to everything. It is this voice that says, I feel sad, or I feel happy. That means emotions are simply what they are, but the voice steps in to say, this is happiness, or this is suffering. This voice creates the story. Even within, it is the voice that assigns meaning. And if we can see this, that it is the voice giving meaning to emotion, then we begin to understand the nature of it all. Pleasurable emotions, painful emotions, these are simply conditions that arise. But it is the voice that says, now I'm happy, now I'm suffering. The voice is what speaks. If we truly see this voice and realize that it is the one assigning value and meaning to everything, tears will fall. This is the sign that the mind, or the life element within us, is beginning to release itself. It begins to loosen its grip from clinging to emotion. From there, it will continue to observe, watching the voice within, seeing it speak again and again. Eventually, we see that the voice itself has no form. This voice thinks and imagines all by itself. Then a question arises, where then is me? We see that thoughts and images arise and pass away on their own. The voice we rely on, just as the one I'm speaking now, arises each time we speak aloud or speak silently in the mind. But when we truly see the voice in action, we see it move by itself. It thinks this, then that. And when we realize this, a deeper knowledge arises. Even the one assigning meaning is merely a function, not the self. Then the question arises again, so where is me? In that moment, the mind begins to unbind itself from the belief in ownership and identity. It detaches from the illusion that this is me, this is mine. Once we see that even the voice functions on its own, we see there is no self doing the speaking, and yet there remains awareness, the knowing of the voice. If we can clearly see that even this knowing is happening by itself, that there is no one doing the knowing, then the life element begins to separate, to break free. It stops relying on these tools. A lightness arises, a peace, new, miraculous. As we continue to turn inward, again and again, we'll see that everything I've described is true. The voice speaks on its own, then dissolves, right now, in this very moment. Mental images arise and dissolve, right now. Emotions arise and dissolve, right now. Sensations of knowing arise and dissolve, right now. All of this is simply nature functioning on its own. At last, we come to see the truth. There is no self in any of these phenomena. And when the mind fully unbinds, when it breaks free at the heart's core, realization arises. This clear element that merges with the entire universe, that is what we are. We have no form, no voice, no image, no emotion, no sensation of knowing. There is only empty clarity, pure, peaceful, deeply still. And from that arises the knowing that there is no self. With that, arrogance and pride vanish completely. Anyone who, upon reaching this stage, begins to think, I am a god, I am the creator, I am supreme, know this, they are still playing with thought. Remember well, this is the sign of one who is still lost. If the realization is true and complete, there will be no sense of self remaining. Only lightness, openness, calm, and deep peace will remain. And beyond even that, there are wonders far greater. But those you must walk into yourself, and only then will you know. Once we have come to know this truth, the question arises, do we want others in this world to awaken as well? To awaken to the mind, to the life element within? Because once this realization dawns, there will be no more suffering. There will be no more rebirth. Isn't that something truly good? Let us help one another share and spread this knowledge. The science of the awakened mind should be brought into every system of education. It must be listened to continuously until the mind truly awakens, until we clearly realize that we are the pure, formless, luminous essence, untouched by anything, until we know with all our heart that there is no more rebirth, until we see clearly and continuously that there is no self, nothing we can call me. Once we see this, it is our task to proclaim it, to help everyone on earth awaken within. Don't be foolish and cling to thoughts. Don't cling to mental images, to emotions, to sensations of knowing. None of these are you. None of them belong to you. You are the life element, formless, clear, and utterly pure. If we can accept this truth, we will live in this world without fear, because there is nothing in this world that truly exists as a self, and nothing that truly belongs to us. It is as if we have entered a dream dimension, like living in an underwater world. And in that world, things function in a certain way. You breathe through gills. You need special tools like submarines and diving suits. In the same way, to exist in this fabricated world, we must rely on a body, a voice, mental imagery, emotion, and perception. These are our diving tools, tools for learning. We use them only to learn that we are the mind, the life element, empty, luminous, pure. And once that is realized fully, once we know beyond all doubt that there is no more birth, then our only task remains to share this knowledge, to proclaim this truth, to lead everyone toward awakening to the pure element that we all already possess. There are many who seek answers to the question, why were we born? So many people carry this question in their hearts, asking, what is the true purpose of our existence? To them, I wish to say, we were never truly born. Some ask, is our true nature the empty, luminous, pure element? And I say this to all of you. We are temporarily inhabiting this physical vessel. We are temporarily using this body, this voice, mental imagery, emotions, and perception as tools to communicate. But in truth, we are the life element, empty, clear, and pure. These tools are not us. We merely use them for a time in order to come to realize what we truly are, the pure, original element. That is all. Once this realization arises, we share it, so that others may awaken as well. And once this truth is realized, how do we live? Just as before. The body continues to function. The voice, the images, the emotions and perceptions all continue their work just as they always have. But now, there is no longer a self-claiming ownership over any of it. There is only a deep, refined knowing within that none of it is me. It's like wearing a mask, playing a role in a grand play. We were so immersed in the performance we didn't realize we were acting. It was all due to not knowing. Then a wise one comes along and says, you're merely playing a character in a play. This isn't real. You're wearing a mask. Wake up. It's not who you are. And hearing this, something within stirs. Wait, it's not me. And then the tears fall. We realize we've played this role for so long that we believed it was our true identity. We wore the mask for so long, we forgot it was just a mask. But now we see, none of this is truly us. None of it belongs to us. This is the kind of knowing the mind, the life element, has always yearned for. That first insight reveals everything in this world, even the body, exists because of thought. We think, this is a phone, and the phone appears in meaning. We think, these are my arms, my legs, and those images take shape. This voice says, this is my body, and the idea of my body appears. This is my house, my car. The voice says so, and the illusion takes form. But if we go along with it, we begin to claim those things as our own. Never forget, the mind, the life element, does not need a house. It does not need a car. The formless, pure, radiant life element has no gender. It has never been human. It does not know good or evil, merit or sin. It is the original element, existing before all things ever were. While we are angry, the mind, or the life element, knows nothing of it. While we are joyful, delighted, the life element still knows nothing of it. Do you understand? The life element has never been human. Even this voice, it is not us. We are the life element. We are simply here to awaken and observe that these things are not truly ours. See clearly, the voice speaks on its own, thinks on its own, generates emotion on its own, perceives on its own. Just seeing this much is enough, and we will be free from suffering. Pride, arrogance, and self-importance will dissolve completely, and we will understand what it means not to be born. For if there is no self, what is there to be born? Everything is simply nature, functioning as it is. There is no self in any of it. Therefore, there is no rebirth. We only need to understand this. The voice that appears is just an expression. No one owns this voice. This understanding is the loosening of possession. When we no longer cling to these tools, no longer claim this voice as ours, no longer claim these mental images, emotions, or sensations of knowing as mine, then we become free. We return to the original element. It's that simple. This is the knowledge the mind has always longed for. The life element has always inhabited vessels, always used tools, shifting from form to form since the birth of the first star. We've been doing this for eons. Now, here we are again, in yet another vessel, using voice again, for one purpose only, to understand that nothing we experience is truly us. This knowledge is the loosening, the unbinding from all attachment. Suppose we are like an octopus with 100 tentacles. We reach out, grasping the body, then come to believe we are the body, like a scene from a movie, like venom. Imagine we are a transparent, wiggling form that merges with a vessel, spreading out to cling to every part of the body, then believing that we are that form. Do you see? We cling to the body, then to the tools, the voice, the images, the emotions, the perception. The only way to break free is to understand. Everything we are experiencing now is external. All of it is being known, not us. This voice, the one assigning meaning to everything. Can you see? I'm using the voice right now. This voice builds the entire narrative. And if we see this clearly, the grip on everything will loosen. What remains is simply observation, watching this voice. Let us look closely. This voice that is speaking, does it have a self? Is it not speaking on its own? Just observe. This voice has no self. It speaks entirely by itself. There is no me inside it. And when we truly see that it speaks on its own, thinks on its own, then the attachment to this voice will dissolve. What remains is another aspect, the one that knows. But even that knowing is not us knowing. It is knowing that happens on its own. When we understand this, we stop clinging even to the act of knowing. Then we come to know deeply that we are the pure element, the life essence, crystal clear. And when this is realized, there is no more birth. There is no more suffering, because there is no self in anything at all. It is time to bring this to a close. May all of us who are firmly resolved, who have set our minds on not being born again, and on realizing the truth of our own mind, come swiftly, suddenly, and completely to this realization. May each and every one of you awaken fully to this truth. If you're interested in these teachings on awakening, mind observation, and transcending suffering through wisdom, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your insights in the comments, provide productive feedback, and if you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.